Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me Kagam. I'm finally back home and today is my Big H Paris story time of what happened in my Hermes Odyssey, because at this point I feel like this is the Iliad. At this point I feel like I'm Odysseus trying to get home. It took Odysseus 10 years to get home to Penelope and Telemachus, but honey, this feels like the Iliad. So we're going to talk about what happened from December 2023 hitherto this point here in, I'm filming this video right now in November, but end of October, because that is when I was in Paris. So I just want to say welcome to my channel. If you don't know me, that's fine, because these videos tend to reach a wider audience of people maybe who've never seen my videos before. So you can just go check out my videos. So without further ado, let's get started. I have lots of notes here that I've written in my notebook because I don't want to forget anything, because I think sometimes it can be really easy to forget stuff when I'm posting. Particularly when you're talking about Big H and stuff, it could be really easy to forget things. Okay, so we're gonna split this video into two halves. It's going to be obviously the introduction, well, three halves. The introduction, which is just me talking now. Leg one, which is playing the game in December and January and February. And then leg two, which is October. But before we get started, I think I should mention something which I think you should know that only me and my husband were aware about. This was a solo trip to play the game and to enjoy myself, because I'm pregnant. I posted a life update. So a lot has changed in my life this year, which has impacted my ability to obviously shop and play the Hermes game. So while I said this was a solo trip to play the game, what I meant by that was this was my final trip alone, as a woman alone. I went on a trip last year alone to Berlin and Paris, and I love traveling alone. My husband knows this. But yeah, this is my final trip traveling alone. So there's another trip that we have in the pipeline to go to Europe, where he will be on the trip. So there's another opportunity to play the game as well. So keep that in mind when you're listening to the story, because there's another trip that we're planning on. All right, so let's talk about what happened. Okay, so let's go back in time a little bit now. Let's go back to December. So in December, I obviously had met an essay at, oh yeah, I meant to tell you guys. For this video, we're gonna call the three boutiques by different names, because I was watching a lot of Game of Thrones this summer. We're gonna call the mothership boutique of the brand, the Red Keep. We'll call the boutique on the left bank of the city where I got the contacts for the essay, we'll call that Winterfell. And then the boutique that's near the Louis Vuitton on Champs-Élysées, we'll call that Dragonstone. So I had met an essay at Winterfell, and she gave me her contacts and was you can get in touch with me, you can make an appointment, and I'll get back to you. And I'm like, okay, great. So I was okay, I have an essay contact. I was excited about it. So I think it was a couple of days before traveling, I contact the essay and I request a piece of fine jewelry and some menswear and beauty products. And I'm like, hey, I called her 17. That's what we called her in the previous video. I'm like, hey, 17, it's me. I shopped with you, blah, blah, blah. I'd like to buy this and this and this and this. Can I make an appointment with you? So my husband was feeling really he was feeling good about this, because this is the first leg of the trip. And he's like, okay, she's going to reply. We're going to get the appointment. And then we're going to finally put this chapter to bed. I was like, hopefully she'll respond. And then we'll go from there. So I sent the email, and like I said, my man works in technology, so he knows everything about emails and all this stuff. I don't know anything. The email absolutely was sent properly, and there's no way it could have gone to spam, because my email is very clean. If I was to send you guys an email, it wouldn't go to your spam folder. And days are now passing. Okay, so we're getting on the plane, going to play the game, and obviously going on our holiday as well. And she doesn't reply, and my husband's like, what are we gonna do? She just hasn't replied. I don't know, there's just something about it to me, kind of sending a follow-up to me feels so desperate. There's just something about it that feels really desperate. She gave me her card, okay? She told me to contact her to make an appointment to buy items. That is what I did. She didn't reply to me. What more can I do? You know what I mean? So I was kind of I don't feel good about like sending another email to kind of like follow up again, because I sent her an email. I know she got the email, and I know for a fact that she still works at the brand. This is as of December 2023. So you guys, you saw those vlogs, you saw me shopping, you saw me with my dude, but you also saw me with my cousin because I went to Copenhagen. Had a really wonderful trip. We had such a great time. We also went to Berlin. Now, during the whole trip in Europe, my husband played the online lottery, never got an appointment. He doesn't have a profile at the brand. I have a profile at the brand, and I played the online lottery, never got an appointment. Because we were relying on 17 to reply, I remember talking to my man about it, and he was like, well, we shouldn't go and play the game at the Red Keep, because we're waiting for 17 to reply. I'm like, yeah, we're waiting for 17 to reply, but by the time we get to Berlin, it's obvious that 17 is not going to reply. Even if she was on holiday, they would have been like an email, I think, or something that would have been clear, like, okay, she's on holiday, but she'll be, she'll like get in touch. And I remember even seeing it in another Facebook group, someone's essay at the Mothership boutique. Someone had like contacted their essay, the essay never replied, and then someone else at the Mothership store responded to this client and said, oh, hey, I'm sorry, blah, 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 doesn't work here anymore, but I can help you. You can make an appointment with me. And then the person got a quota back. So I was kind of feeling like I just didn't understand like why she wasn't responding. And then by the time, because I had gone to Copenhagen, my husband was in Berlin, he had played the lottery, and then that's when we're at this point we're like realizing 17 is not going to reply at Winterfell. So we go to the Mothership store, the Red Keep, to look around. It is so rammed, it's so busy, it's Christmas time. And this is when my husband's like, oh my God, this is just the most ridiculous thing ever. You can't, like, the bags are available on display, but you can't buy them. He just thought it was so ridiculous, and he just thought it was absolutely ridiculous. Okay, so at this point, it's clear that 17 is not going to be replying. So, I just decided with my husband and stuff, because it was such a letdown, because we both were like so invested in her responding, and she never replied. And I know she still works at the brand, that I know for a fact, and you'll find out later, because I see 17 later on in this ridiculous Iliad Odyssey, but for, like leather handbags that no one needs to live. Okay, so at this point then, it's like, January, whatever, playing the game, but things start to change in my personal life. So I make a decision to take a sabbatical from work. I've been working for, at this point, 14 years nonstop, and I decided to take a sabbatical. So I decided to just take time away for me, and it has nothing to like do with the channel, or anything like that. And I told my husband, I think I just want to chill in Europe for a bit and just enjoy some time off. He goes back home. I'm chilling in Europe. I'm playing the lottery intermittently. I'm still so disappointed in the whole thing with 17. I'm so disappointed. She gave me her card, but she never like responded. And then later on, like weeks are passing. I'm still playing the lottery, of course, not getting any appointments. Weeks pass, and then don't forget, by the way, that my husband never got a lottery appointment. And then something else happens in my personal life. So in addition to taking a sabbatical from work, so where I'm just kind of living off my investments, whatever, my employees are carrying on with my company, I'm just kind of chilling in Europe, relaxing. I then find out that I'm pregnant, and I talked about this in the Paris Diaries episode 1, I think it's called. I talked about like how I found out that I was pregnant, so you can go watch that. So finding out I was pregnant basically meant that I went back home I found out I was pregnant in Tanzania because I wasn't feeling well. And then I was just kind of chilling, early summer is when I found out. So I was chilling at home, kind of recuperating, watching fashion shows, watching all the fashion shows from the girls and so on and so forth, watching fashion weeks and getting my energy back, because I was really, really, really fatigued. And I think that's been like the thing for me during this pregnancy. Obviously I'm still pregnant right now. So when I came back home, I just want to make sure I'm not missing out on anything because there's so much to mention here. When I came back home, I still have scores to settle in Paris. And I was still like, 17 is bang out of order for not responding, and it's fine. I actually think, I was thinking about this the other day. I actually think it's better to respond and just say that you can't help. I would have much preferred her to reply and be like, hey, I'm super sorry, but I can't help you. Now let's start off about what happened during leg 2. So I found out I'm pregnant, I'm back home, I'm just chilling at home, recuperating, getting my energy back because I'm so fatigued. And once I feel better, I tell my husband I want to go on my solo trip to Paris and just enjoy myself, chill, relax. But of course, I'm going to continue playing the Big H game. There's no question about it, which is now brings us to the present time, which is right now. So obviously I'm filming this video in November, but I'm saying now because it's obviously October is when I was there. So this was like a solo trip. It was just for me, but my cousin actually ended up joining, and that was just a phenomenal amount of fun. So she came for a portion of my trip and then she went home. She lives in another country in the EU. So let's talk about what happened when we went there. So when I arrived in Paris, I played the game like the day after because there was like I think there was like a 7-hour wait for me. Basically, I had to wait 7 hours for my hotel room to be ready. And because I'm pregnant, I was like, I don't want to play the lottery. And then if I get a morning appointment, what if I'm exhausted or something bad happens? I was like, I'll just play it for the next day. So the next day I play it. And of course you have to validate the email. I don't think I validated the email, so I missed out on a day. Then I played the game for the next day I think it was for Saturday, and then played it for the next time, but this time I validated my email. They used to send you rejection emails. They don't even send rejection emails anymore, which is pretty harsh. If you don't hear between 8 p.m., so 2000 hours, 8:30 p.m., 30 hours, then you haven't gotten an appointment. So then for that Saturday, obviously I applied for Friday, for Saturday, applying and hoping to, be successful. My cousin comes on the weekend. She also has applied. She also has tried, and she hasn't gotten anything. She was with me, remember, in February when we tried, and she also had played the lottery. And like I said, she's from an EU country. So we decide then, to wait and see if we're going to hit anything, because it was like a Saturday and it was like, I just knew realistically, like I'm not going to get a cancellation on Saturday. I just knew that's not going to happen. So we decide to wait. Okay, we wait, and we're literally delusional because we really believe it this time. This time we really believe that we're going to be chosen for that. And I remember that Saturday we were like, we're going to be chosen. We're going to be chosen. Of course we were rejected. They don't even send the email anymore. I remember the days of playing the Big H game where they would send you emails. There was some courtesy there of sending emails to people who were rejected. I think someone on TikTok said in May that 20,000 people a day are applying for the appointments. They're not even sending rejection emails anymore, which is pretty bad. I think that they should send a rejection email. Okay, so then we decide, like on Monday, I think it was Monday. I don't remember which day, but like basically the following time, we decide to go to Faubourg to go see what is going on. So then we go to Faubourg, the Red Keep. We go to the Red Keep, and then we also decide to go to Winterfell. So this is the only day that we went to the boutiques to get together because she was actually going home. So we go to the Red Keep, and we get there. It is rammed. It's really busy. It feels like a beehive. It does have this kind of beehive mentality. And it has this like beehive kind of like vibe, like it's really, really busy. So I think something to note as well, and this is something which I wanted to just kind of highlight, is like, I think if you're going with a friend of yours or a female relative like me, I think you should separate when you enter the store. Just separate, because I feel like sometimes when they see women together, they think that you're like resellers. So we walked into the Red Keep, and then we separated, and then she went milling around on her own. I went milling around on my own. So this is when I was like taking pictures, because I wanted to take pictures for Instagram, show you guys. Also, I was filming like little videos because I knew I was going to film a shopping vlog at the Red Keep, and hopefully at Sevres as well, which I managed to do at both of them. So milling around, there are a lot of essays, and this is where I'm beginning to notice that things have really changed. Even compared to December, things have really changed, like from previous attempts from 2023. Like, first of all, the essays at the Red Keep at Winterfell are young. Like, I'm 38. I still think 38 is young for the most part. Some people might disagree, but I think 38 is young. But the essays at Big H right now in Paris, they're like 25, 26, 27. I mean, we're talking about people with like 27-year-old collagen in their skin. They're like Gen Z essays. It's just a completely different vibe. So I'm looking around and then I go upstairs. No, wait, actually I mill around like men's. I saw there was this like really cool, like, I think, what's that bag called? I'll put a picture up of that bag. So it's the men's Kelly pouch. There was like one on display in a neutral color. It was really pretty. It was in the men's department. And you know, I saw shoes as well. There's obviously fashion jewelry. There are a lot of essays milling around. There are essays also selling scarves because, you know, that's on the ground floor. The ground floor also has the equestrian and the saddlery as well. And then obviously all kinds of bags on display. So I was like, first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to look around, and then I'm going to see like what's the first one. I just want to see the vibe here. I want to see the vibe. So look around and I see the cancellation desk. Now this is where like you're really feeling the energy of like what's going on at the moment. There are so many people at the desk asking for cancellations, okay? They're asking for cancellations. It is absolutely rammed with people there, like, and they're like a bunch of essays there, like telling people, no, you need to apply online. I go upstairs to the first floor to have a look around, and that's where you have like the homewares, you have women's prêt-à-porter, and then you have the baby section. Okay, and then you have this like, I think it's kind of well, I'm thinking on the left hand side, but you have this portion of the first floor where they're like tables. Obviously this is for appointments, and then you have like lots of bags in like cases, and you have like bags in glass cases and things like that. Now this is where it gets really interesting. There is a woman, a lady, and her husband, and they're seated on like this table with like these really nice chairs, and there is a bag that is being offered to this woman. And this bag, now that I think about it, because when I saw her being offered the bag, I couldn't place what the name of the bag was. Now unfortunately I do not know the name of the bag. I cannot get you a picture of this bag because I don't know the name. But however, during this summer when I was just chilling on the sofa, exhausted, pregnant, scrolling through Instagram, I remember seeing someone post this bag saying it was a new limited edition bag, and it has the shape of the Kelly dance, but it is not a bag that is on the website and has never been on the website. And the one that I saw on Instagram was in croco, so in crocodile leather, but the one that she was being offered looked like it was like a normal leather, and it is that bag, because I was thinking about this when we had left the Red Keep and we were headed to Winterfell, because I was telling my cousin I was trying to place what this bag was, and then I remembered I'd seen the croco exotic version on Instagram. For the life of me, I do not know the name of the bag. It is not the dance. It's not anything that has been on the website. I think it's a limited edition piece. The essay offers her this bag. It's in black. She is so stylish, so elegant, so chic. She's exactly the kind of person I think Big H would want to shop at their house. Like if the Big H marketing team are thinking, who is our dream client? Like the way she looks, like she was so elegant, so chic, and she's sitting there with her husband and they offer her that bag. And she obviously was disappointed. And then I heard her say, like in English, like, what about the pochette, or what about the mini Kelly? And then the essay was like, Madame, if I had those bags to offer you, I would have offered them, you know, to you. Like I would have offered it to you. But you know, I do have this is beautiful. So at this point I'm just walking around taking pictures. You know, you're trying to be subtle. I'm trying to film videos for you guys. I'm trying to take pictures, but I'm also listening. And then later on, actually, my cousin ended up seeing two women who were trying to like try on Evelyn's, and I think they'd actually picked up an Evelyn and just tried it on without asking for permission. I didn't know you were allowed to do that, but my cousin said she saw that. So then I just keep milling around. I then end up talking to an essay who's super friendly, and I was like, oh, where's the baby section? And she's like, oh, the baby section's over there. Someone will come and help you. I'm like, okay, cool. I go to the baby section. I literally stand there for 15-20 minutes. The whole time I'm at the baby section, there's a couple, like a gentleman and a lady. She has, I think, a mini Kelly in 5p bubblegum. It's so beautiful. That color is absolutely stunning. It has palladium hardware. And she's like looking at homewares with this essay, and literally stood there for like 20 minutes. No one approached me at all. This is like the first time I've been to the Red Keep since playing the game from 2021 hitherto this point, that I have been blanked at like the 3 boutiques. No one approached at all, which was quite shocking, because normally, you know, they would approach me and be like, hello, can I help you? Do you want to buy something or whatever? So I was like, okay, well, no one's approaching. So then I go to Fine Jewelry. Now, Fine Jewelry, there's another couple. Let me tell you, baby, the Red Keep that day when we went was full of couples, okay? There were wives, baby. There were husbands. There were men. There were women. Like, it was full of couples in there, and obviously trying to get appointments. So there's a couple, they're like trying on some like jewelry, and then at one point I hear him say, so like, can you help us get an appointment? And the essay is like, you know, we can see, like, let's see, because all the appointments are booked so far. But I don't know if they had purchased any jewelry yet. There's all kinds of expensive jewelry. You can see everything in the shopping blogs, because I've already posted those. But there are those really beautiful pave bracelets. They've gone up in price. I remember the Ash Donkra pave bangles. These ones here, I'll insert a picture here. These used to be like 34K. I think they're like 36 now, 38, which is insane. It's absolutely insane. I mean, imagine buying this and then you don't get the bag that you want. I mean, there would be a problem. Like, seriously. Okay, so then after leaving, so I just want to make sure, I don't want you guys to miss out on everything because there's so much that happened, so I've written all my notes here. So then after leaving the fine jewelry bit, I go back to where the couple is, because they're sitting next to this really nice display case where there are mini Kellys, Kelly pochettes, lots of beautiful bags are there. So I'm like, let me go back and see if I can take some more video, because filming those shopping vlogs is really hard. You have to stand with your phone like this for seconds, so you're waiting for the seconds to pass so that the video is enjoyable for you guys to watch. Now at this point, she's being offered another bag, okay? And she's being offered another bag, and this bag is well, no, it's not a bag. It's more of like an SLG. She's being offered the Gige. I mean, at this point, I'm just like, okay. Remember the Big H Sevres shopping vlog? I told you there's something in my language we call kigundu. Kigundu is like a Swahili word. It kind of means like a bad omen or a portent. At this point, I'm starting to feel like something is wrong here, because she is exactly who Big H want. Like, she had beautiful blow-dried hair. She had a gorgeous black outfit on with boots. She was so elegant, so chic, you know, like quietly glamorous. Like, you just looked the part, and you offer her a bag that is so rare that almost no one has posted it on Instagram. I remember seeing it once on Instagram. I've never seen it since. I don't know the name of said bag. It has never been posted in a Facebook group that I have seen, and I've also never seen it posted like on resale sites. She declines that. Then you offer her a Gige. Again, if you like the Gige, that's cool. But she had said that she was interested in a pochette and mini Kelly, and she's being offered a Gige. Oh no, this is when I was like, ooh, it's not really feeling good right now, okay? So then I go downstairs, I'm starting to look for my cousin, I find my cousin, and then we decide, you know what, we're gonna dip, because it was so busy. We saw the cancellation desk, we're like, there's no point going there to ask for cancellations. It was so busy. And I think, as I've told you guys, oh, I should have said this before, I don't know if I've said it, but this was like a solo trip just for me. But there is another window of opportunity to go back to Europe and to play the game again with my husband. So because I know I have another trip to Europe, I wasn't too stressed about this trip. I wasn't like, I have to get something on this trip, because I have another European trip in the pipeline, right? So we decide to leave the Red Keep, and then we go to Winterfell, which is the boutique on the left bank of the city, near Le Bon Marché. That is the boutique where 17 works. So we were just, you know, laughing in the taxi on the way over, like, oh my God, 17, you know, whatever. Like, what if we see 17 today? We get to Winterfell. Winterfell is also rammed. There are a lot of people at Scars, walking the ground floor, there are people milling around, whatever. Okay, so then we go down the steps of Winterfell, and then we go, as usual, if we're together, we go our separate ways. I turned the corner into women's pret-a-porter after going down the stairs of Winterfell, and guess who I see? Literally the first person I see, 17, looking me in the eye like this, like looking into my soul. Okay, she's with a client, and she like looks at me, and I could tell that she recognized me. And then she's like talking to her client. Her client was an English-speaking client who was like, can you help? The first thing the customer said that I heard was, can you help me get a leather appointment? I was like, oh wow, the omens and the portents are really here right now, and the signs are not looking good for me, because I wasn't feeling good from the Red Keep when I saw the ideal Big H client be offered a limited edition bag she did not want, okay, non-quota bag, and then being offered a Gige. I just, no, okay. So 17 is with this customer at Women's Ready to Wear. So I'm looking at Ready to Wear, and like I said, she's looked at me, I've looked at her, we've acknowledged each other. She absolutely recognized me, because the way she looked at me was like, oh, I've met this customer before. And then she carries on with a customer. So then I'm just like walking around Women's Ready to Wear, I'm like taking pictures and stuff. And then I go into shoes, and shoes is an absolute nightmare. There is a queue for shoes. You have to queue now for shoes. Now, the last time we were playing the game at Winterfell, you didn't need to do that. You just walked there and you bought stuff. Now you have to queue. So I was like, oh my gosh. There was a woman there also asking for an appointment. Like everywhere you go in the boutique, there are clients asking for appointments. Can you help me get an appointment? Can you help me get an appointment? And the essay was like, I can't help you get an appointment. You have to go and ask the people dealing with cancellations. I was just like, okay. So then we're just walking around, milling around. There are some French clients who are talking to this woman who was standing at the, at the bottom of the steps of Winterfell, there's like this stand where like you can speak to an essay. They were speaking to an essay there in French. One of you told me not to feel bad for like eavesdropping on French conversations at the Big H stores because you guys want to know what French clients are saying. And they were two French ladies and they were just like, can you help us get can you help us get a leather appointment? She said, I can't help you get a leather appointment. And then later on, I also saw another group of French women speaking to the same woman, like, can you help me get a leather appointment? And of course, I spoke to her as well eventually, but the following day, so I'll tell you about that. Okay, so my cousin's looking around, I'm looking around, all kinds of beautiful bags. Again, go watch the Big H Winterfell shopping vlog. You'll see all the things that were at Winterfell. Everything is gorgeous, beautiful, but of course you can't buy it because you don't have a leather appointment. Now this is where it gets really interesting. So there is a client at the Winterfell location who my cousin sees get offered a bag. But it is the canvas her bag, and she had an appointment. She actually had an appointment, and she was like, can you get me a Birkin? So she asked for a Birkin. The essay comes back with a canvas her bag. Again, the portents and the Kigundu vibes, honey. It's giving. Everyone is getting their skull dragged in these boutiques right now. It's not feeling good for us. And then, we then just decided to leave Winterfell, and as we're leaving Winterfell, we're like, let's go to Le Bon Marché and just chill there and look around. We go to Louis Vuitton. You've already seen that shopping vlog. And when we were leaving, walking to Le Bon Marché, we both were like, the vibes in Winterfell today were not it. Now, before I forget, I see 17 again, but this time I'm with my cousin and we're like walking around like on shoes, and she looks at me and I look at her. So she absolutely knows that it's me. She knows that she blanked me. She knows, and it is what it is. I still see her with that woman, and that woman is still asking for a leather appointment. And I don't know if 17 helped her. I felt like telling that woman, don't email her, boo-boo, because she's not gonna respond. So we leave Winterfell, we go to Le Bon Marché. We were just laughing about it because the vibes, honey, the vibes of the boutique were just not, the vibes of the boutique were not there. And the fact that I saw 17 twice in the boutique, and she looked me in my eyes and looked into my soul and blanked me, blanked my email, you blanked me twice, not even a care in the world. There are other essays, I think, who would have been like, oh my God, let me go, oh, I know that person, let me go say hi to them. There are essays who would have done that. 17 is not like that. 17 is like the Pope. She wants you to kiss the ring. 17, boo-boo, you are not the Pope of luxury stores. I'm not kissing the ring. So we leave, we go to Le Bon Marché. I know some people would be like, well, you could have gone there and been like, hey, 17, do you remember me? I don't know. Again, it just feels so desperate to do that, and so humiliating and embarrassing if the essay's like, no, I can't help you. I can't help you. So anyway, we end up at the Bon Marché, we're chilling there, we go to Louis Vuitton, we do other things, and then we call it a day. Head back to the hotel, and we go out for dinner. Okay, now my cousin goes home to her country in the EU, and I'm alone. This is my final day in Paris, and because I'm pregnant, I feel things like differently, obviously now because I'm pregnant, but also I don't push myself too hard. If I feel tired, I stop. If I feel like I can't go to 10 million stores in one day, I don't. But I had energy on my last day. I said, I'm going to go to the Red Keep, I'm going to go to Winterfell, and I'm going to go to Dragonstone that I haven't been back to since I played the game for the first time in 2021. Okay, now this is when I'm obviously now going to be pushing for myself in addition to observing the things that are happening. So go to the Red Keep first. So the first thing I do when I go to the Red Keep is I go upstairs again to the baby section, so I want to buy a baby product and then see if I can chat to someone. Because like I told you, I knew I wasn't going to front load with jewelry or a watch this time around because I know I have another trip to go to Europe where I will front load on that trip because I'll be with my husband. So I wasn't pressed about front loading. I was like, I'm just going to do cancellations and I will see if I can speak to someone and see if I can get a cancellation. I've never really played the cancellation game properly in the 3 Parisian stores, so this is like the first time I've tried to do it. And because I know I'm going to front load on a future trip, I wasn't worried. So go back upstairs to the baby section, literally stand there for 10 minutes. It is crickets in the baby section. No one approaches at all. So I think if you're pregnant, I wouldn't put any investment or energy into the baby section. I wouldn't even if you're not pregnant, you want to buy a baby gift for a friend, I wouldn't bother because there's just no one's going to come and help you. Well, I would bother, but I'm just saying, like, no one's going to come and help. Then I take some pictures, again, shopping vlogs, content for you guys, and then I go downstairs to cancellations. Now I go down to cancellations. There are a group of people, all English-speaking clients, except for 2 other women, again, who are francophones, who I'm listening to what they're saying. They're speaking to the French-speaking clients, telling them you have to apply online, apply online. Then there are 2 women who are like, you know, we've applied so many times, but we can't get an appointment, we're leaving tomorrow. Okay, remember you in the old days of playing the game, you used to be able to tell an SA like, please, I'm leaving tomorrow, can you squeeze me in? And it would work. People would report back and say it would work. And there's a female SA, and she was like, oh, like, no. Like she did not care that they were leaving. Don't forget, it's also my last day. There's a gentleman standing in front of me, so well dressed. He has a really nice, beautiful Gucci jacket on. And then he's like, can you help me get a cancellation? And the man's like, no, we don't have any cancellations, no custom. All of the appointments have been allocated and no one has canceled. So of course, I'm next. He's gonna tell me the same thing, but I just said I'm gonna ask anyway. At the very least, it's a data point for you guys. So then I'm like, hey, I just wanted to know if there are any cancellations. And he was like, no, we don't have any. And I was like, what about if I come back later? Because at this point, it's like 2 p.m.-ish. What if I come back later? And then he said, well, if you come back later, there still won't be any cancellations because we're fully booked. And the way he said it was so smug. He had this little, it was said in this really smug way. It was such a smug way, the way he said it. Well, you know, you could come back later, but there's no point because, you know, all the like appointments are fully booked and stuff. I was like, oh, okay. I'm not gonna stand there and like beg you like to come at a later time. There were some other customers doing that because those women who were speaking to the lady and explaining that they were leaving were literally at this point beginning to like beg her, like, please, can you like squeeze us in later? We'll come back later. We'll come back at closing time. That's when, again, my energy levels, boo-boo. I'm not doing that. I don't mind asking, but I'm not doing that. Again, I'm not saying that I'm like better than people who do that. I'm just not going to do that. So then at this point, I'm like, okay, cool, I'm gonna leave. So I leave and then head back to Winterfell. Now, I was really hesitant to go to Winterfell again because I had just such a horrible, like bad omen portent vibe. We both did. My cousin was like, the vibes at Winterfell were not it the day before, but I was like, let me just go anyway. At least I can say I went, so I know for sure. Because I just feel like I'm going to be giving up on Winterfell moving forward for future attempts. And then get to Winterfell. I don't see 17 this time around, but I get to Winterfell and I'm looking around, go to the baby section. I'm hovering around the baby section for about 15 minutes. No one approaches me. This has never happened since 2021, where no SA approaches to ask if you want help, if you want to buy anything. Obviously, they don't need you to buy anything because they're making so much money, so they don't need your money. That's what it's giving at this point. So I'm like hovering around the baby section. I literally am waiting and waiting and waiting. No one approaches to help me whatsoever. No one does. That's never happened before. So then I'm like, okay, let me just go and ask for a cancellation. Let me just see. I go to that, like I said, at the bottom of the stairs, there's that like stand where there's that person, that woman standing, and it's the same woman who was from the previous day, was telling the French clients that she can't help. So I was like, oh, I wanted to ask you about cancellations. She's like, you need to go around the corner and speak to them. And then there's like a man and a woman, and they're speaking to this woman who's standing in front of me, and she's an American lady, and she was like asking for a cancellation. And then she was asking for a cancellation, but she was also asking if her essay was available, because she was like, oh, you know, I have this essay, but also are there cancellations? No, we don't have any cancellations. Okay, well, I've met this essay called blah, 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 but he's not responding to my messages. That sounds about right, boo-boo. It sounds about right. And they were like, okay, well, we don't have his schedule. We don't know where he is. And then as luck would have it, he pops up out of nowhere with like boxes for another customer. They weren't, I don't think they were quota bags or anything like that. And then she's like, oh my God, there he is. Let me go. And then she like leaves the people there and she runs over to him and she's like talking to him. And I can see that he was caught off guard, because obviously he's been blanking this person who he's clearly like promised and given hope of an appointment. And the fact, you see the way they're protecting him, because they're like, oh, we don't have his schedule. We don't know if he's around. What do you mean you don't know he's around when he's right there? I was just like, I cannot with this brand. The shenanigans at this brand, like that took me out. And good for, you know what, in a strange way, she stood on business, okay? Because she was like, obviously this person was in touch with her about an appointment. And he then started doing the Winterfell blanking of her. And then she stood on business and went there to be like, is he working today? And they're like, oh, you know, no, we don't have his schedule. Then he like comes out and then she's like, oh my God, there he is. Then she ran over. Then it was my turn. And he was, again, just this smug smirk on his face. And it was so, there's something about it that was so like, so happy to be like, no, we don't have any cancellations. I was like, so no cancellations at all. They were like, no, you have to apply online. I was like, I've applied so many times and I'm leaving tomorrow. He's like, well, there's nothing that can be done. You have to continue applying. Again, in the old days, they would have been like, okay, you know, let's see what we can do. At the very least, they would even ask you what bag you're looking for. I'm a realist. I wanted to get a mini Kelly or a Kelly pochette, but I'm a realist. So I could be like, okay, I could get like a pink non-quota bag, like a pink picotin. I could do that. I'd be fine with that. I'd be quite happy with that actually. Or a pink, even a pink Evelyn, I'd be fine with, because you know, pink's my favorite color, even green. And then it's just the way he said it. It was so like satisfied. It was like a cat. It was like a cat with the cream, but just super satisfied. No. You have to apply online. The only way, that's what he said, the only way to get an appointment is to apply online. I was like, okay. So then at this point, I decided to leave. You know, I'd looked around, but I'd already looked on the previous day. I took a few more pictures, more footage for the tea vlog, or the shopping vlog, and then I left. And then at this point, I'm like, okay, the final boutique I'm gonna go to is George Sank. And at this point, I'm like, I'm just gonna go there and just ask. I'm just gonna ask, instead of asking for a leather point, I'm gonna ask directly for a non-quota bag and see what can happen. Okay, so get to George Sank. They are like, you know, George Sank, there's like a queue. They like, I think they're very careful about how they like let you in. The greeter woman looks at my belly and she's like, do you want to use our lift? And I was like, it's okay. I just want to find the baby products. So I go upstairs and she's like, oh, they're upstairs. So I walk upstairs and then there's like the baby stand. Again, ignored, blanked for like 10 minutes. And then there's like fine jewelry and watches. So I walk in there. Now, there are two essays in there. There's a male essay who's a mature essay who isn't French. He's from a country in Asia. I won't name the country. I'll just keep it to myself for now. But I was basically speaking to him. I was like, oh, hey, because no one's approaching me to help me. So I'm like, can you help me buy something? He's like, yeah, what do you want to buy? I was like, I want to buy something for the baby section. He's like, okay. So he leaves fine jewelry and watches and helps me pick out the item. So let me show you what I got. I just realized I ended up buying it. So this is the bag and everything. So I was like, oh, okay, I want to pick out a baby pouch. I think I'll end up snitching on the gender of my baby here, but I ended up getting this pouch. So I decided to just buy this because I was like, I want to get a non-quota bag. And I know that like you basically have to buy something in order to get a non-quota bag at this point. So I was like, let me just buy this. Sorry about that. So I ended up buying this cute little pouch. It's 480 euros. It's yellow. I was gonna buy it in blue. I think that kind of gives away what I'm having. I was gonna buy it in blue. Sorry guys, I just did my nails, so I don't want to completely open it, but you could put obviously bits and bobs for your baby in here. You can put all kinds of bits and bobs for your baby in here. So I was gonna get the blue one. It was like no, it's not blue. It's like a mint. It's like a minty kind of color. But that one had sold out. That was the one that was on display. So he goes away for ages. I thought he had like forgotten about me. At this point, I see two French women milling around Women's Ready to Wear, which is close by to the jewelry, and they're talking amongst each other. And they're like, it's so hard to get an appointment. I don't know how I'm gonna get an appointment here. Now, Dragonstone is like the boutique that's popular with French clients. French clients tend to like it more, and it has a more Parisian local clientele. And they're just basically talking amongst themselves about how they're trying to get an appointment and they can't get one. So at this point, I'm just kind of like, okay, everyone is being dragged at all three boutiques. So this isn't a personal attack against me. I'm just going to see if this man has a Picotin or an Evelyn, and I'm going to call it a day. Because at this point, I was beginning to feel tired and I wanted to go back to the hotel and rest. Oh, no. I wanted to go to Cartier, buy something, and then go to the hotel to rest. So he comes back with it, and then we're standing. He actually told me to sit down by jewelry, just sit down, and then he was like, "Is this for you?" I was like, "Oh no, I'm having a baby, so it is for me, but it's gonna be for my child." And then he's like, and then we're just chatting, and then I'm like, "Look, I'm trying to get like an Evelyn or a Picotin. Can you help me get one?" And he kind of like looks to the side because there's another essay there. Okay, there's like another female like essay, and she's watching. I think she's French, and he's like, and he says quite loudly like, "I can't help you get an appointment, but you have to go downstairs, but I can take you downstairs." I was like, okay. So we go downstairs, and then he takes me to the woman who is handling the woman who's standing by on the cancellation or the leather desk, whatever you want to call it. So I'm talking to her, and then he's like, "I'll wrap up your item." So he's wrapping it up, but he's watching like our interaction. And basically she tells me that all of their appointments are allocated, you know, the same BS that I've heard at, you know, the Red Keep and at Winterfell. So at this point, I was literally about to just say it for her because I know what she's about to say. And then she's like, "Maybe if you had come earlier today, there could have been a cancellation if you had come earlier." At this point, it's like 4:45. I'm just tired of the big H, like Hermes glyphics. If you had gone earlier, boo-boo, they would have said, "Girl, everyone is allocated." So you can't win with these people, particularly these new young Gen Z SAs, because they're on TikTok, honey. They're in Facebook groups. There are probably some of them lurking in my Facebook group and I don't even know about it. They're everywhere. So they're just gonna say whatever they're gonna say. So then, okay, so then like, she's like, I said, not even the Evelyn, because I was like, okay, what about Picotin Evelyn? And she's like, no, you need an appointment for those. I was like, okay, fine. So then I decide to let it go, and then I pay, and then because he was like looking when we were talking, I could see him like wrapping up, but also looking. So I was wondering if he was kept looking to see if I was going to be successful, but obviously I wasn't successful. So then I go there, pay, he finds my profile. My profile is still there, I can see my name. And then he clicks on the profile and he looks at my purchase history, because he's like, "Oh, do you have a history of this?" I said, yeah, I have purchased, a lot of things from you. And then he clicks on my profile and he's like, "Oh, I can see, yes, madam, you've bought a lot of things from us." I'm like, yes. And then I pay and then I leave. Okay, so that is pretty much it of what happened. So now I just want to debrief with you guys of just general things. So obviously, as you can tell, I wasn't successful. So after finishing, I paid and everything. Like I said, the pouch, which is just one more time, the pouch, just to remind you, this is the baby pouch, is $480. And then you get like 12, I think you get 12% back. So obviously I did the tax refund. So I decided to call it a day and then go to Cartier and then head back to the hotel. I ended up bumping into two women, okay, when I was walking to Cartier, who had seen me at George Cinq, and they were like, "Oh, hey." I was like, "Hey," and they were like, "Were you in George Cinq?" I was like, "Yeah." Obviously, Dragonstone, were you in the Dragonstone boutique? I was like, "Yeah." And then they were like, "Oh, we were there too. Did you get a leather appointment?" I was like, "No, I tried to get one, but I couldn't get one." And I said I wanted them to feel better, because they were telling me that they'd been trying so hard and they hadn't been able. to get a leather appointment. I was like, they wouldn't even sell me an Evelyn or a Picotin. I was like, I asked him for an Evelyn, and he told me he couldn't sell me one, which was really funny because he sold me this. You sold me this, boo-boo. You sold me the pouch. He left fine jewelry to go and find my baby product, but you can't sell me a mini Evelyn or a Picotin. So they were like, oh, okay. So like, you didn't get a leather appointment. I was like, I did not get a leather appointment. So I was like, don't worry, we're in the same boat. And then I said bye to them. They were from the States. They were super sweet. So I ended up chatting to them, then head to Cartier, shopped at Big Cartier. You can see the shopping vlog. It should have been uploaded by now. Okay, so we have a lot of stuff to talk about. Now, obviously I've been trying for many attempts. Please be kind in the comments, guys. You have to understand that for me, as much as, of course, I want to buy a mini Kelly or a Kelly pochette, for me, this is not the end of the world. It doesn't run my life. It doesn't it's not the pinnacle of what I need in luxury. For me, Big H is part of an ecosystem of luxury brands I like, but it's not my favorite brand. If you support this channel, you know Versace, Moschino, Cartier, Louis Vuitton are like the brands that I really, really love. If you support me, you know this. I like a lot of things. So Big H is part of that, but it's not like the pinnacle for me. So I'm not super disappointed because I didn't front load, and I knew I wasn't gonna front load. I know that I have another trip to Europe coming where I will front load for sure, like the next trip, no question about it. So I wasn't too pressed because I was like, look, there's no Hermes in Africa. There's no Hermes in my home country. What am I missing out on if I don't get anything this time around? Every single person in Winterfell, the Red Keep, and Dragonstone was asking for cancellations. I have never shopped at Big H and seen the level of people trying so hard to get cancellations at this level. Like, it's never been this hard. Even last year in February, last year in February and last year in December, when me and my husband went to the Red Keep, I have never seen the amount of people asking for cancellations, me included. I asked as well at every single boutique. I asked, and I was unsuccessful. I've just never seen this. It was so competitive. If there's a global recession, it's not at Winterfell, it's not at the Red Keep, and it's not at Dragonstone. Okay, let me tell you, it's not there. The first observation of the recap portion of this video is men are getting dragged too. Men are getting skull dragged as well. You know, there's always that belief that it's easier for the lads, you know, to score appointments. I think to a certain point that's true, but I saw that gentleman in front of me at the Red Keep get dragged, who asked for cancellation. He got dragged. I got dragged too, don't worry, boo-boo, I got dragged. And then there was another gentleman as well at the Red Keep. I remember overhearing him ask, oh, can you help me get her back in? And the man, the SA was male SA, and he was like, you know, you have to have a leather appointment online. Like, men are also getting dragged. So I think if your strategy is like, okay, my boyfriend's gonna be the one who's gonna get it for me, you know, your boyfriend should also get ready to get dragged, because the boys are also being dragged there. The next thing is, as I've mentioned before, the generational change, the changing of the guard from the mature SAs to the younger Gen Z SAs, from Winterfell, the Red Keep, and Dragonstone. The only SA who was nice to me was the mature SA who I met at George Sank. And even then, I felt like I had kind of put him in a corner when I asked for the Evelyn and the Picotin, because there was another SA who was watching him when we were talking. And looking back, now that I'm debriefing it, I feel like he could have helped me had I spoken to him in a more private part. But for those of you who've been to George Sank, you know, when you go up to the next floor, it's very small. It's hard for it to feel, it's very small and very intimate, so you can hear what people are talking about. I think definitely had I spoken to maybe privately, and definitely, of course, if I had bought more items, maybe he could have helped with not just like a non-quote offer, with something else. I definitely got that feeling from him that if you like front load with him, I feel like he can churn something for you and make something happen. But yeah, there's definitely a changing of the guard of like the younger Gen Z essays. And the younger Gen Z essays, they're on social media, like I said, they're in Facebook groups, they're on Reddit, they're on the Purse Forum, they're on blogs. They know everything that we are saying. They know that we're gonna be like, okay, can I have a cancellation? I'm going tomorrow. They're gonna be like, girl, come next time. Come next time. You're gonna be like, oh, but it's my anniversary. Ah, I do not care, boo. What are you getting me for my birthday? I mean, they have an answer for everything. The guy at Winterfell who had that little like, the pair of them, the guy at the Red Keep and the guy at Winterfell who I was speaking to about cancellations, they both had this smug, smirky look on their face, but the one at Winterfell was just so happy with himself that he gets to kind of drag you down there and be like, no. Even when you're trying to be like, but can you check to see if the emails are being validated? Because I was like, let me just be like, oh, can you just make sure that my application's gone through? It probably has gone through. It probably has gone through. If you got the email asking you to validate, it probably worked. Like, they have an answer for everything. All the old tricks in the book do not work with the young Gen Z essays, because they are on social media like us and they know everything that we're saying. The next thing is the amount of Francophone speakers who have been dragged at Winterfell. Francophone speakers, boo-boo, we're getting skull dragged at Winterfell specifically. There are a lot of French clients who like to shop at that store. I always felt like it was easier for French speakers to be offered bags, and like actual locals who live in Paris, and they were skull dragged. Many of them I overheard as well. And then the next thing in the recap, in the debrief now, is the amount of people who were queuing for shoes at Winterfell. I mean, I was not ready to see the queue boo-boo for shoes, honey. That's what I was like. And then I see 17 milling around. I'm like, I am done with Winterfell. Bye. The next point is, guys, the lottery is rigged. Me and my cousin have been talking about this. We have thought about this. The lottery is rigged. It's fixed. No one's going to tell me otherwise. Please don't bother fighting me on this. I don't care. And by the way, if you're a Pegasus unicorn, Pegasus unicorns are people who say that they walked in and they didn't buy anything and they came out with a mini Kelly. If you're that kind of person, this channel is not for you. We like to share strategies and ideas. I don't want to hear your Pegasus unicorn stories. You're just gonna get blocked, okay? And you'll be Michael Jackson. No, you'll be Joe Jackson, I beg your pardon. Michael was nice, his father was tough. You'll be Joe Jackson from this channel and you'll be blocked, okay? The lottery, I'm sorry, that thing is fixed. No one can tell me any differently. It's not because I'm a player hater. I was speaking to so many Glamazons this year during my hiatus who live in Europe, who told me that they have tried. I remember there was a Glamazon from Switzerland said that she had tried for 90 days. 90 days, that's 3 months, it never got a leather appointment. Someone on TikTok, like a French TikToker, said that she tried for 100 days. 100 days trying, and then finally got a leather appointment. No one can tell me that that thing is not fixed. It's fixed. There's a theory floating around, I saw someone post this in a Facebook group, that certain passports are maybe given priority over other passports, so certain nationalities get priority over others. It's possible, because a lot of people who get these lottery appointments tend to be from the States, the UK, Canada. I actually spoke about this with a Glamazon who's from another African country and another Glamazon who's from Latin America, and we both have, well, all of us have non-Western passports, and the Glamazon from Latin America and the Glamazon from Africa have never gotten an appointment online. I have never gotten an appointment online. So I don't know if this theory has any truth in it, but it is a theory that I've heard floated around. Who knows? Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. My cousin is from the EU and she has applied so many times and tried so many times and has never successfully gotten a leather appointment online. Like I said, it's rigged. Okay, it's my opinion. I'm entitled to it. Don't bother fighting me about it. I'm not going to engage with you. You're going to be blocked. Okay? You're going to catch this block. Boo-boo. Catch this block. And then, you know, the next thing is, of course, the Pegasus unicorn. So one of the biggest things about posting these like Hermes Storytimes from Paris is like, the reason why I post them is because I think it's important to have a realistic, nuanced perspective on it. If I can be successful in the next trip, that would be wonderful. But the reality is that there, as of summertime, there were 20,000 appointments every day, according to what someone said on TikTok. And the amount, 20,000 appointment requests per day. And this person on TikTok said they have under 200 appointments per day. Okay? Like, seriously. I mean, that's like, I'm really bad at maths, but that's like 1% of the appointment requests get through to win the lottery. And then you have obviously people who front load and then people who have appointments with other people. But from the lottery, they have under 200 per day across all 3 boutiques. So it's not far-fetched, like, at all. Like, to kind of, if you look at the situation, it's not that far-fetched, like, for people for so many people to be trying, but people are not coming on the internet to report about it because people feel like, oh, I didn't get one. I've tried many times. I haven't got one. I feel like a loser or whatever. Well, no, my value is not wrapped up in a leather handbag. Okay, that is sold in a Parisian boutique. My value as a human being is much bigger than that. So I don't mind sharing like how it's been like for me, and because for me it's not something that offends me or hurts me, because there's no big H in Africa. I think if there was an Hermes in South Africa, if there was like an Hermes boutique in Johannesburg or Cape Town, and if I couldn't score a bag there and I couldn't score a bag in Paris, yeah, I think that I would then be like, okay, this is not working out. This is getting kind of depressing. But there's no Hermes in Africa, so what am I missing out on if I'm not successful? I think that the 3 Parisian boutiques are really now for people who are coming to play the game in Paris, who are ready to spend and to front load. And I also think that they are trying to discourage you if you're a casual big H shopper. I think if you're someone who wants to shop there casually, they want to make it as difficult as possible. I think if you're grandfathered at the boutique, like you have connections there, that's fine. I think you should be fine. But I think if you're just starting to play the game in Paris, it's going to be really, really hard. Like I said, because there's so many like success stories, because that's what gets views. The people who don't succeed are not going to come on Instagram, and TikTok and YouTube, because then they're going to be annoying Pegasus Unicorn saying, I turned up naked in my pants. This video is going to bring someone who's going to say, they were there at the same time as me and they were naked and they didn't buy anything, but they looked into the eyes of the essay and they connected with them. And you know, Saturn was spinning and the rings of Saturn were doing this, and then they were able to get a mini Kelly with studs. There's going to be someone who's going to leave a comment like that. And you know, a lot of people don't want to read those kind of comments when they've been trying so hard and haven't been able to get one. So there's a lot of survivorship bias and there's a lot of confirmation bias. Only the people who are successful will come on the internet to say, guys, I was successful. I don't mind sharing, because I think sharing is caring, so that eventually when I'm successful, I'm like, okay, great guys, this is what's happened. Right now, I think my loyalty cumulative from 2021 up until now is about 2,000 euros. So it's not a lot of money, but there are people who spend less than me and have gotten BKCs. Good for them. That's not my road. That's not my path. Maybe I have a different path and that's okay. I'm still interested in the mini Kelly, the Kelly Pochette, the Kelly Elan. I saw this beauty right here, the Kelly Elan with ostrich feathers. Finally to see it in real life, because I'd seen it so much on Instagram. It is really beautiful. It's very big, but it looks very well made. I think that you can see the amount of effort and work that's gone into making this piece. A lot of effort and energy and work has gone into, I think, constructing the bag so that ostrich feathers like stand out, but they're not like annoying at the same time. So yeah, those are basically the things that I'm interested in, and that's pretty much what those are the 3 bags that I'd be interested in for the next attempt. So when will I be going next? I mean, I don't know, maybe in a few months, but the next time I would go, I would front load and I'll be with my husband, so I'll have his attempts as well. So we'll see. You know, the next time I'm in Paris, you just see me pop up there. But in the meantime, I'm not going away anymore, I promise. I won't disappear again. I am here. And I just want to share my experience, because I think sharing is important, but I think sharing the fully nuanced perspective is really important. It's great to have that Pegasus Unicorn story, but if 20,000 people are applying every day, it is not possible for 20,000 people to be Pegasus Unicorns. So as you can see, the amount of people who come to share their story online, there are very few people who are coming to share their story online. So it seems like everyone goes there and gets it the first try, but a lot of people have tried many times and haven't been successful. Okay, like I said, it took Odysseus 10 years to get back to Penelope and Telemachus in the Iliad. Okay, it took 900 years to build Notre Dame. Okay, I'm patient. I can wait until the time is right. And in the meantime, I'm going to continue covering the brands, continue covering all the exotics. They have released this beauty. This was at the Red Keep. This is the Himalayan Maximals. It's 33,700 euros. This is gorgeous. I think if you want one of those really special like Kelly dolls or Birkin 20s, you probably need to buy this. It's so beautiful. It's so stunning. Absolutely gorgeous. This was at the Red Keep. They have so many beautiful exotics. You know, exotics are their thing, Annie. Like, that's what they know how to do. So I love exotics. I feel like exotics are like the high jewelry of leather goods. So I will always be, following this brand for that reason. So I really hope you like this story time. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Like I said, be kind in the comments. People don't have to share, but I think sharing is important. And, I'll try again. In a few months' time, I'll go and try again and give it another go. and then we'll see what happens. But next time I'll definitely front load. I think just for me, the biggest disappointment was 17. 17 was the biggest disappointment of this whole debacle. I can deal with snarky, smug, big H Gen Z essays who I'm like 10 years older than them. I can deal with that. But the fact that 17 is giving cards out to people knowing she is not going to reply, I just think is wrong. I think it's morally wrong to do that. And before you say, oh, they have so many people, don't give out your card, boo-boo, if you have no intention of responding to people. I would even prefer for her to respond, say, hey, look, I'm sorry, I can't give you an appointment, apply online. By the way, I didn't ask for any leather goods in the email, so there was no indication that I was going to do that. I thought that was just so disappointing. So I think for the next trip, I'll be putting all my energy into the Red Keep. I don't think Dragonstone is for me. The boutique is very small, it feels cramped, I just don't like the vibes there. Maybe if I won the lottery, maybe I would go there. But I think I'm going to put my energy into the Red Keep moving forward, because I feel like I would have my best chance would probably be there. And as for Winterfell is where 17 is. I mean, 17 is just ridiculous. Okay, my husband was so angry about the whole 17 debacle in December because he thought it was bang out of order. And then when I told him that I saw her at Winterfell, he was like, she is wrong, she absolutely recognized you. I was like, I know. Anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this story time. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Tomorrow I have my Cartier unboxing, showing you guys what I bought at Cartier. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you guys, and I'll see you very soon in my next video.